Sandra Bullock walked into a high-end car dealership in Los Angeles. No one noticed. She wore a hoodie, jeans, no makeup, just a regular woman walking in. A couple of staff looked up, then looked away. She walked around slowly, stopping by a sleek black sports car. Still, no one came over. Not even a "can I help you?" One saleswoman even turned her back and walked away mid-glance. It was quiet, kind of awkward. But then, the door opened again. This time, Keanu Reeves stepped in. Same casual vibe. Hoodie, cap, nothing flashy. But the energy shifted. Fast. Heads turned. Smiles appeared. Phones got pulled out. And then, he walked straight towards Sandra. What happened next? Let's just say that saleswoman probably wished she hadn't judged so fast. It was a bright afternoon in West LA. The kind of day where the sun makes everything look expensive. Sandra Bullock had decided to stop by a well-known luxury car dealership. The place was spotless, shiny white floors, massive windows, soft jazz playing in the background. Cars lined up like they were on display for royalty. A few guests inside were sipping on champagne as they spoke with sharply dressed salespeople. Sandra didn't come in looking like a movie star. She wore a plain hoodie, some old jeans, and sneakers. No makeup, no jewelry, nothing that screamed celebrity. She looked like any regular person running errands. She walked in quietly, checking out the cars, keeping to herself. One of the saleswomen saw her, made eye contact for a second, then looked away. She didn't smile, didn't offer help, just turned back to her phone. Sandra kept walking, slowly circling a sleek silver sports car. Another staff member walked right past her to greet someone in a suit who had just walked in. The kind of moment that stings, not because of what's said, but because of what isn't. No welcome, no offer to help. Just silence. Like she didn't belong there. Sandra moved slowly through the dealership, stopping beside a deep red convertible. She leaned in a little, just to check out the details inside. The leather seats, the dashboard, the little touches that made the car feel special. After a few minutes, she turned toward one of the saleswomen nearby. "Excuse me," she said gently, trying not to interrupt too loudly. The saleswoman barely looked up. She gave a half-smile, one of those forced ones, then said, "I'll be with you in a moment," before turning her back and walking toward another group. Sandra stood there for a second, unsure if she should wait or move on. That moment stretched. Just a few feet away, a man in a suit with shiny shoes and a Rolex on his wrist walked through the door. Suddenly, the same saleswoman lit up, her whole face changing. She walked straight over to him, offered him a drink, and started talking about exclusive models and special options. No one else seemed to notice Sandra anymore. She was just invisible. Was it because she wasn't dressed the part? Or did they really not recognize her? Either way, it was clear who they thought deserved their time. And it wasn't her. She wasn't angry, just quiet. But something about the way she stood there, hands in her pockets, said a lot more than words could. The front door opened with a soft chime. Another customer walked in. Hoodie, jeans, sneakers. Nothing fancy. At first, no one seemed to notice, until they took a closer look. Then, everything shifted. It was Keanu Reeves. The same staff who had ignored Sandra suddenly stood a little straighter. Eyes widened. One of them whispered something and nudged another. The energy in the room changed, fast. Phones quietly came out. Smiles appeared like someone flipped a switch. But Keanu didn't look their way. He didn't wave or play into the attention. He scanned the room once, then spotted her. Sandra. He didn't say a word, just smiled, and gave her a hug. Not a quick, polite hug. A warm, familiar one, like two people who had known each other forever. Everyone watched. The sales staff froze. Some of them exchanged glances, realizing they may have just made a huge mistake. Then Keanu leaned in and said something only Sandra could hear. She laughed. The mood between them was light, easy, like they were in their own world. The rest of the room? Quiet, awkward, watching. The mood flipped in seconds. One of the younger staff members, eyes still wide, whispered, "Wait, that's Sandra Bullock." You could almost see the wave of realization hit the room. Mouths opened slightly. The saleswoman, who had brushed her off earlier, froze. She looked at Sandra, then at Keanu, and back again, like trying to piece it all together way too late. Now she was smiling. Now she wanted to help. She walked over quickly, all fake energy and apologies. "I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. Can I show you some of our top models?" Her voice was suddenly sweet, way too sweet. Sandra didn't even have to respond. Keanu stepped in, calm but sharp. "She was about to buy that car," he said, nodding at the red convertible. "But you missed your chance." The room went silent. Keanu turned to another salesperson, one who hadn't ignored Sandra, and said, "We'll work with you." Then he looked back at Sandra and grinned. "Let's get to." And just like that, the power shifted. The same woman who had been treated like she didn't belong was now the center of attention. Not because she demanded it, but because she never needed to. As the paperwork was started, the saleswoman stood off to the side, clearly uncomfortable. The kind of regret you can't fix with a smile or a discount. Keanu and Sandra, they just kept talking and laughing, like nothing had happened, like they'd already moved on. What makes this moment even better is that it's not an act. Sandra and Keanu have always been this way, quiet, kind, never chasing attention. They don't walk into places expecting red carpets or special treatment. They actually avoid it. Sandra's known for keeping her life private. She's adopted 2 kids, stayed out of the Hollywood party scene, and spends more time with her family than at movie premieres. Keanu's the same. He's been spotted riding the subway, giving up a seat for strangers, carrying his own gear on movie sets, and even helping crew members load equipment. One time, when someone asked Keanu why he's always so grounded, he said, "The simple act of being kind means everything." That says it all. They don't care about clothes or status. They care about how people treat each other. That's probably why they connected so well in that moment. 2 huge stars who never needed to look like stars. They just showed up as themselves. And that was more than enough. We never really know who we're looking at. The quiet woman in a hoodie could be a world-famous actress. The man sitting alone on the train might be someone who's helped thousands without ever saying a word. That's the thing. Real kindness doesn't need a spotlight, and real success doesn't need a show off. Sandra and Keanu reminded everyone that day that it's not about looks or money or how loudly someone walks into a room. It's about how we treat people when we think no one's watching. Have you ever walked into a place and felt like you didn't belong just because of how you looked or what you wore? It sticks with you. But moments like this, they flip the script. They remind us that judgment says more about the person doing it than the one receiving it. So next time someone walks into the room quietly, don't look past them. You never know who they really are or who's watching.